I was born on March 5th, 1997, which means that I am officially 29 years old. And after a full weekend of celebrating and a few days of recovery, I've finally spent enough quality time with my journal to be able to tell you exactly what the last year has meant to me and what I feel like my most important reflections and reminders from the last year of my life have been. This is 29 Things I Learned by 29. 1. Grief will change the very fabric of who you are, and sometimes that feels just awful in remembering what once was and how much we miss it, and sometimes it feels like a permanent reminder of how deeply you have loved. I am different now. Because of her, I am different. And of course I am, because I loved her so much. And in the midst of so much unwavering sadness, I've still found pockets of hope in this time. For one, I think knowing grief has changed the way I feel the rest of my emotions too. I think it's made me more understanding of myself and more comfortable with my sadness. I feel like a completely different person now than I was last summer. And sometimes that's the worst thing in the world. And other times, it's like remembering how deeply her love impacted my soul. 2. Spending a weekend with your grandma is always a good decision. 3. Give yourself the gift of time when it comes to your creativity. In the era of social media, there can feel like there's this constant pressure to be in perpetual performance, but sometimes things take time, and you should let them. I started working on my podcast rebrand / the Pumpcast launch in October of last year, giving myself about 3.5 months to pour every ounce of love I had into the process, and it was such a joy. I got to collaborate with multiple creatives that I admire. It gave me the space to change my mind a few times, and ultimately allowed me to enjoy the process without a looming deadline by the weekend. Live a little sensually when it comes to your creative self. You deserve it. The world can wait. 4. Apathetic dating is on the rise, which makes you, the least nonchalant woman in the world, a kind of delicacy. You're emotionally available, a direct communicator, and love a good flirt. It's becoming a lost art to others, but not to you, baby. Stay exactly as you are. The right thing will find you soon. 5. Home cafes are the best way to host. Being an at-home barista feels creative. Treating your friends to fresh pastries from a nearby bakery is way easier than cooking for yourself, and you'll be able to clean up and go to sleep at an aggressively reasonable hour. It's perfect. 6. Dancing with your sister fixes everything. 7. It is not your responsibility to figure out why someone else treated you poorly. We can go around in circles all day long trying to figure out why people do the things they do, why someone would behave in ways that we wouldn't even dream of. You can dig into your brain, trying to pass the blame onto different parts of yourself, trying to find a reason why someone would treat you like that and if it was somehow your fault. But the truth is just that it's not your responsibility to offer them understanding. You don't have to understand them. It was generous of you to attempt to, but that is not owed, and sometimes it's just better to put your hands up and say, I don't get it, and thank God I don't. 8. Always do the photo booth solo. Capture yourself as often and truthfully as possible. Your future self will thank you. And also, while we're at it, get yourself a pair of killer sunglasses and bring back wearing sunglasses at night.
These were a little birthday treat to myself from Warby Parker, and they're probably my favorite sunglasses that I own now. These are their caramel shades. Honestly, I can go square or round with my lenses, but I prefer a bigger sunglass. Truth be told, I have a big head. So I really just feel like I need something to balance it out. So the bigger sunglasses are always going to be the ones I gravitate towards. And I just thought this particular shape with the tortoise shell was very chic. And you can really tell in the weight and feel of the sunglasses that they are made from high quality materials, which I love. My friends and I just went shopping up in Williamsburg the other day, and we just popped into the location in the neighborhood so we could actually try on the glasses and see which shapes we liked best. This pair was coincidentally the first pair I tried on. Sometimes your gut instinct is correct. The pair you are most immediately drawn to sometimes is the best pair. That's what ended up happening for me. Their glasses start at $95 with prescription lenses that include anti-reflective and scratch-resistant coatings. Plus, they do a buy a pair, give a pair program where every purchase helps someone in need receive vision care. They've got free shipping and free 30-day returns if it turns out you're not rocking with the style you got. And you can shop my exact frames at the QR code on screen or the link in the description of this video.
9. Get into the Bravo cinematic universe. Oh my God. 10. Try new creative mediums, even if you think you'll be bad at it. I started playing with oil pastels this past year and I've drawn a lot of shitty things, but I've also made some pieces that I ended up quite proud of. The crab being one of them, and my newest piece, Dance Company 01, being another. 11. Friendship is abundant and it's everywhere. Every year, I am continuously reminded of how truly magic it feels to meet someone that you connect with instantly, to watch other people you love connect with each other instantly. I've met new friends at coffee shops, at trivia nights, at podcast interviews, on group trips to new countries. Most everyone is open to new friendships. How lucky are we to know that truth? 12. Always record the family vacation. You'll love that you did in a few weeks' time, and you'll extra love that you did in a decade's time. 13. Get more tattoos. I'm not a Bentley, and these aren't bumper stickers. I am an art gallery, and God, do I deserve a couple paintings. 14. A little bit of Mary Jane at the end of the day? Kind of the best way to decompress, which is something I couldn't have predicted I would be saying as someone who used to feel incredibly anxious when I smoked. It ended up being incredibly helpful in processing my grief and allowing my brain to relax after a full day of incomprehensible despair. 15. Know when to leave a comment section. As a creative, it can feel really tempting to read every response that everyone has to something you create, but that knowing and holding space for so many other people's opinions can start to grate away on your ability to show up. Over time, I've learned that in order for me to show up week after week and make things that I feel truly proud of, I have to know when to silence the feedback and listen to my own voice instead. It's okay if not everything resonates. It's okay if someone misunderstands you. It's okay if it reaches the wrong audience. Let the commenters entertain themselves. Let them talk to each other. Know when they are not talking to you, and get back to creating the next thing for them to talk about. 16. Wallpaper in your bedroom does make it feel like the set of an early 2000s teen sitcom, and it's fucking incredible. 17. Start a Vanderpump Rules rewatch podcast with one of your best friends. Or I guess what I'm meaning to say here is be fucking extra and ridiculous every chance you get. Your niche interest, be larger than life with it. Be dorky and silly and indulgent in the fun parts of life that bring you joy, no matter how truly niche they might be. It is fun to be a little extra about the things that you love. 18. Start Lexapro. For the love of God, start Lexapro. 19. In the midst of a skinny apocalypse, take extra time to celebrate your sexy fat self. It's okay to have a bad body image day, a bad body image week, whatever it is. It makes total sense to sometimes feel overwhelmed by the pressure to shrink and funnel tens of thousands of dollars into transforming your avatar into what's hottest right now, freezing yourself in time so no one knows you're getting older. Give yourself grace in processing it all, and make sure you carve out time to remind yourself, almost like you're speaking to your child self, that you are wonderful and electric just as you are right now in this moment. 20. New York City is the best city in the world. I've known this since the day I moved here, but after reaching my 10-year anniversary of living in this city, I can continue to say with certainty and experience that absolutely nowhere compares to here. In all of my travels, I am always more excited to arrive than I am to depart. 21. Making out and nothing else is always in. Take your time. Take all the time you need. 22. Having a best friend who will drop everything when you're in a crisis, fly out to your city just to help you with basic tasks, and sleep in the same bed so you never feel alone is worth your weight in gold. To have even one friend as incredible as that, you are literally the richest woman in the world. 28 showed me that I have many of them, and I feel so lucky to know their love. 23. Always keep the promises you make to yourself. Keeping your trust with you alive is important. At the end of the day, I know I've got me, and time has proven that. 24. In a world where more and more people are becoming casual users of AI, choosing to be staunchly anti-AI can sometimes feel like the unpopular choice. I've noticed so many creatives becoming deeply uncomfortable in the unknown between projects and leaning on AI to give them ideas, inspiration, to help kickstart or push them in the right direction, and it breaks my heart because they can't tell that they are being robbed. To be a creative is to go through the process of unknown yourself. To go to AI for inspiration is to deny yourself the very thing that makes you a creative person in the first place. For as long as I am creative, for as long as I am brilliant, for as long as I am capable, for as long as I have integrity, I will be anti-AI. Everything I am built of is against everything AI is and will soon become, and you can count on that. 25. Start a poetry art print club. Get back in the habit of writing. The world through the lens of a poet is always more beautiful. 26. With an increased overemphasis on peace protection and individualism, be the kind of friend who knows that sometimes you can and should inconvenience yourself for your friends. Trust, community, and village building requires striking a balance between taking care of yourself and taking care of those around you. If you crave closeness, if you crave depth, if you crave a kind of chosen family feel within your friendships, you have to understand that sometimes that requires you to show up, even when it's an inconvenience. 27. Go to the spa more. You will literally never regret booking a spa day. 28. Grief will change your relationship with crying, and you were already a pretty healthy crier. Now, crying feels like a shower. It feels like making the bed, tidying my living room. It is synonymous with so many of my daily human tasks, and that's okay. I've cried on the subway. I've cried at bars. I've cried on the street. I've cried at the spa. I've cried in so many places I didn't think I'd ever cry, and it's all okay. Cry as often and as suddenly as you need to. No one's judging you, and if they are, they someday won't. Grief touches all of us at some point. We all reluctantly understand. 29. Dance often and dance hard. Get sweaty. Look silly. Get a group of friends together and buy a bunch of wigs. Show up to the bar in pursuit of an entire night being ridiculous and free. Drop your drink. Commit a party foul. Fall on the dance floor. Get back up. Sing along loudly. Dance stupid. Let strangers join your group. Request a shitty song you liked in middle school. Dance and be free. The last year was one of the hardest of my entire life. It was painful and gut-wrenching and woke me up to feelings I'd never felt before. And in times where things feel so heavy and dark, nothing is more important than joy and community and dance. So here I am, 29. And this year, I'm just gonna dance. So buy the wigs, call all of your friends, tell them we're having a wig night out, because this year, we're embodying joy as defiance in the face of pain. And I'm not planning on going home until the sun comes out.
It's a bittersweet symphony.